Recording paused. All right.
Awesome.
Here we go. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Vince Devall with Eagle Home. Sorry we're late this morning. Had some technical difficulties. So got Brad Brewer here, and he's about to jump back on. And Adam Zeman with A to Z Mortgage Team. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning.
All right. So today we're going to have a little bit of a fun topic. We are going to talk just some fun things that we love to do in the fall. So that's going to be our chat today. And we're just kind of going to do a little bit of a round robin and talk about those items. So, I think I'll start first. One of my favorite things about fall is Halloween. And I think the three of us kind of agree that decorating the house, trick-or-treating, all that good stuff. But really, trick-or-treating for me, getting the kids dressed up during this time of year is just a great time. It's the excitement on their face when they go door to door is a lot of fun. And I'm not going to lie, I'm one of those guys that loves to dress up too with the kids. I think one year I was like a safari guy while my kids were lions and monkeys or something. So last year, I dressed up as the guy from Moana, the big muscle guy, played by The Rock. Can't think of his name right now, but so I love participating in those kinds of things. So it's a good time. What about you, Adam?
Okay, so I kind of rethought this a minute, and I think for me, my most favorite thing is probably being at my cottage, having a bonfire going, listening to just like the geese and the ducks and the quietness of the lake, because all the people that do sporting, sport boat stuff are gone. Just a kind of a peaceful, nice time. Usually there's a little bit of a breeze, you can hear the leaves. So for me, that's probably my favorite thing to do. And then, I kind of have a list of some other things I've enjoyed in the past is going to Elegant Farmer, which I think is, kind of plays into the whole getting pumpkins, that kind of stuff. That's kind of a...
Yeah, where's Elegant Farmer at, Adam?
So that's off of Highway 43, McGuanago area.
Okay.
So always a good time. I think that kind of plays into no matter where you go, there's always some sort of pumpkin farm. I mean, I think that if you have kids, you're probably going every year, minus the whole COVID thing. So
right.
So by my house, there's Seven Bridges, which is a right on Lake Michigan, and it's like known for being haunted. I don't know if it is, if it's not, whatever, but it's just a series of bridges that go down to the water, that go walk down to Lake Michigan, and there's some historic properties to it, but just walking there in fall, it's just got a kind of just good feeling to it, like just the whole ambiance is really, really interesting and cool and something free to do. So that's probably one of my favorites. And then
Seven Bridges, Adam, is that like, do you walk through like a wooded area, or is it kind of park-like setting, very open?
It's a wooded area.
Okay.
And you could take different like bridges to go down to the water. And it's
very neat.
Grant Park, so it connects to all the trails and everything.
Yeah, is it a long walk? Like, are we talking a mile, couple miles, or is it just less than a mile?
Nah, half a mile. It depends on which walkway you take.
Okay.
So it's not super long. I mean, you can make it as long as you want by just jumping on some of the other trails.
Yeah.
I've certainly made it, like a 5-mile walk, but that's not. You don't have to do that. You can make it a very short walk. So it is perfect for kids. I actually think they even do some trick or treat there sometime in October. So if I remember correctly, I read the plaque, and it's like there's some haunted property to it. So pretty cool. And I think you touched on some of the stuff I want to talk about, but one of the cool things that's not too far from me in Franklin is The Rock usually puts on a pretty good haunted house. So I think that kind of plays into anybody that likes haunted houses, but this one's pretty close. I don't know if they're still doing it. I think they stopped during COVID. I don't know if they're doing it anymore, but that was always a pretty good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Haunted houses are one of those areas that I enjoy them and dislike them at the same time. Like it's fun to walk in and be like, all right, what is going to scare me? Or and usually it's the wall that has someone standing next to it and you just like blend in, you don't see them, and all of a sudden they're right there on you. The bloody gore, that doesn't, I care less about that, but it's the suspense of unknowing. Yeah, we do one down in Winthrop Harbor. It's called Dungeon of Doom. It actually opens, I think this weekend actually, is opening weekend for them. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool thing to do. And it's, if you get there I'd say after 7 o'clock, you're probably waiting in line an hour and a half, if not longer. If you get there around 7, right around it starts to get dark, you can usually get in pretty quickly, but anything after 7:30, you're waiting in line. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know if taking my kids to a haunted house is the way to go yet, but it's definitely something I eventually would like them to try at least once. They might be scarred for life, but yeah. So what else you got, Adam? Then we'll go to Brad and I'll finish up.
I think that's pretty much like the wrap up of what I have. In general, just the whole ambiance of fall and like the breeze and leaves and the deer. I used to hunt more, so that was always a big thing, in fall. But just the noises and the cool air and just the feeling of it is really something I enjoy, and try to spend as much time outside. I mean, I always do, but I really hit it a lot harder in fall just to make sure I'm taking at least a walk every day or doing something that involves being outside. Or I used to golf a lot more in like fall just because the weather was nicer, and minus losing the ball to the rogue leaf that you can't find it under, it's fun.
Right, exactly. Brad, let's talk about some of your fall fun activities.
Okay, and I'm going to shock everybody today. I'm not going to talk about golf. Probably. So for me, fall, it's the start of football season. I love watching football. That's actually something my wife and I enjoy doing, is watching football. Sunday.
Brad just froze. Oh, there he is.
I can also. The Sunday fun day.
Brad.
Watching football with my wife.
Hey, Brad.
Some nice food at
you
home.
Must have a bad.
I'm going through.
We might have to mute.
Here. Give me a second.
We'll come back to Brad. We'll let him start over once he gets better reception, because frozen Brad does not look that attractive. He's like, his eyes are closed right now while he's driving. Yeah, that's pretty sad. It's almost like he fell asleep at the wheel. Oh, there he is.
Back?
He slows.
Back?
It's not great.
I'm back. I should be back.
No.
I'll go first and come back to you.
All right, Brad. Yeah. Well, we're gonna pause, Brad. I'm gonna talk about some of my favorites. One of them is kind of apple picking with the kids in the area. Man, there's quite a few just within probably a 5-10 mile radius of us, a place to pick apples. We actually by pure luck went to Apple Holler last week, right off the interstate, Highway 11 and 94. It was awesome for kids. A lot of great activities. They take you on a tractor ride out into the farm where you can pick your apples, walk back in. Very, very kid friendly. One of my favorites for adult friendly is Brightonwood apples in Brighton, Wisconsin. What's cool about it is, being lazy I am sometimes, you don't pick your own apples. They have them already in baskets for you. You just kind of pick through the good ones, throw them in your bag. But then they have wine tasting and a distillery there. So once you're done picking your apples, you can go try their apple wine, or it's called Apple Trio. You can try their wines and their bourbons and whiskeys and so forth. So it's kind of a better adult version of apple picking. That's one of my ultimate favorites in the fall. And then, gosh, the festivals. You start getting Oktoberfest. There's just a ton of festivals. Just last weekend and this weekend, and I think next weekend in Burlington, there's their Oktoberfest. And then Lake Geneva has a really cool Oktoberfest where it's all downtown area. Different breweries are, sharing their October beers. So it's a lot of, just a great way, once again, like Adam said, to get outside, kind of be social and before we're about to get cooped up for the winter. So I think finding an Oktoberfest. And then, one of the other ones is Pierce's Farm Stand. It's out in near Elkhorn, Walworth area. Back to what you said, fresh, pumpkin picking, fresh produce. And then they have a huge corn maze, which is just a lot of fun. Every year it changes. It is, cut out to whatever is happening that year. May it be, someone wins, or the Bucks won the championship. They might have cut out their maze to look like, Bucks championship or something like that. So it's a cool thing to do. And then, I'm going to tie back up to Adam and one of his favorites, being outside, sitting by the fire. Sitting by a fire on just a cool night where, the fire's keeping you warm. Maybe you throw on a sweatshirt and, top it off with a glass of bourbon. It's kind of one of my ultimate favorites. Just, end of Friday night with that after a long week. It's just a lot of fun. So, Brad, are you back in the service levels? I see trees going by, so you look like you're able to communicate.
We should be. So I'll go through my 5. I don't know if you guys heard the first one. It was basically Sunday fun days in the fall, watching football with my wife. That's one of our favorite things. Whether making some good football food at home or going to one of our favorite local establishments for some chicken wings. So that's kind of my first one. Second one's pretty simple. I like driving around. I like the fall colors. So kind of just drive around checking as the leaves start to turn. Makes me a little sad. I said I would talk about golf, but it starts to be the end of the golf season. And yes, Adam, I agree. It's one of the worst things is when that ball is sitting under a leaf somewhere. So I agree with you. Number 3, also a little bit of sad, bittersweet thing, but that's the time of year the boat has to be put away. But I just love a nice, not cool fall day, one of the warmer ones. But you're not going to get in the water, but you're just cruising down the lake again. Different scenery from leaves falling, just the calmness of the water. Glass of bourbon is also nice during that as well. So I have to agree with Vince on that one. And then I don't know. I'm a little old-fashioned too with the pumpkin patches. We don't do it often. We don't do it every fall, but wants to go out and picking a pumpkin. My daughter was little. She used to carve them with her. I don't think we've done that in years, but that's really a fun thing to do as well. And then number 5 for me, and it's a little fun fact here. Thanksgiving's in the fall. It's my favorite holiday. I love Thanksgiving. And a little fun fact, I was born on Thanksgiving. So I'm not going to say how many years ago, but I was born on Thanksgiving. To me, it's my favorite holiday because, one, there's football on, so that's a great day. And I feel bad because I'm not usually the chef, so I'm not doing all the work. So for me, it's getting some good food, hanging out with family, maybe playing some dominoes, and watching football. So, to me, it's like the perfect day. None of the stress with Christmas, with gifts and stuff like that. It's just fun, family, and relaxation. So those are my 5.
Yeah. So Thanksgiving. Well, a couple questions here. We all talked about like going to like a pumpkin patch or something like that. When you guys are looking at pumpkins, are we looking at like, I'm the type of person that wants to find the biggest pumpkin I could find and carry out of there. Where my kids are a little bit different, and they're finding the one that like looks like a face or is a little bit unique. What do you guys do when you go after that pumpkin? Is it colors? Is it size? One that, I mean, I haven't carved a pumpkin in a few years, but it's one of those challenges. It's so messy, not gonna lie.
Go ahead.
For me, it's that probably that in between, that one that's got a little nice size to it, but I actually like pumpkin seeds too. So I know my wife, my mom used to do this where they'd pull out and we'd roast the pumpkin seeds. So yeah, I know a bigger one's nice for that. But yeah, my daughter, when she was little, of course, and my wife even too, she likes the little cute ones because she thinks they're cute and they're fun to decorate. So, but I'm more of the into I like the big one.
Doesn't really matter for me. Medium size, symmetrical, weird, it doesn't really matter. I don't know. I just go with whatever the flow is at that point,
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to add a couple of things. First of all, I forgot the Badgers. I love watching the Badgers on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
You basically always catch me at somewhere watching the first half, and then I usually listen to the second half or vice versa. And then are you making pies with these apples? And if so, where do I get these pies?
We make usually apple crisp, which is kind of a staple on my wife's side of the family, but it's basically pie crust with sliced and baked sliced apples, cinnamon, sugar spread out, and then another thin layer of pie crust, and then basically sugar icing, the powdered sugar mixed with milk and water and icing. So we do that, and then applesauce. She almost will make 1 or 2 batches of applesauce. Never really like full pies, but applesauce. My youngest, who just turned 4, had a blast. We have an apple peeler where you put it on and it winds it and it peels it for you, man. And it cores it and slices it. So my youngest loved doing that this past week. So no, I am not a baker by any means. I do not. Baking's not my forte. I'd rather grill, saute, smoke, fry something. So that goes into question going on that line. Brad's favorite time is Thanksgiving. What's everyone do for their turkeys? I think that should be a conversation for later. What's your go-to turkey recipe? But I'm curious to see, what are we talking about? Adam, if you had to cook a turkey, how are you cooking it?
Okay, in Thanksgiving, or I have 2 different ones. Okay, in summer, I'll grill a turkey on a Weber grill, and it's if I nail it, it turns out it's super good. And
if you nail it.
And then during Thanksgiving, it's just a traditional put it in the oven type of thing with all the super traditional stuff that you do on Thanksgiving, like the stuffing and the potatoes. And I actually cooked in my house last year, and I did a really good job. It actually turned out super good. And this year, I am a cook, and I don't really like bacon either, but I want to brine a turkey and see how that turns out. I think that I'm willing to try that.
Yeah, no, that's Brad. How about you? Well, Brad, go ahead, and then I'll go.
Yeah, no problem. We've done it all different ways. The oven, I've done smoked, and I didn't used to. My brother used to do them deep fried. He had a deep fryer, and then I've done it grilled too. Funny story is came about the grilled one on accident. One Thanksgiving, we were at my mother-in-law's house, and she turned the oven on in the morning and wasn't working. So she's like, "Uh-oh, what are we gonna do?" I said, "Well, let's see if it fits on the grill." So we made some alterations. I had a grill pan that fit on perfectly, and we grilled it. So I like all 4 ways, but my favorite's probably the smoked. That was just delicious.
Yeah.
And always the turkey leg for me. I grab those turkey legs quick before anybody else can grab them.
Yeah, I'm a turkey leg guy too, but yeah, I'm either a smoker or deep fryer. Deep fryer, we've done a lot with my family. We would deep fry turkey every year, one or two of them, depending on who was showing up. But deep frying, they just come out so juicy. They're I just find them to be so good. And then when we're done deep frying them, the after dinner snack is we take Oreo cookies, throw them in pancake batter, and deep fry them in the fryer. Oh, they're so good. It's delicious, but it's fun because, you got deep fryer, you shut it off so the oil's not boiling hot anymore, and it'll cook nice and slow, get a nice brown color for you. And deep fried Oreo on Thanksgiving's really good. So yeah, awesome conversation today, guys. It was a lot of fun. I love sharing stories like this, and, kind of opens things up for everybody. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Once again, I'm Vince Devall with Brad Brewer and Eagle Homes, and we got Adam Zeman from A to Z Mortgage on the line here. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Love to, get your feedback, share more things like this. We'll talk to everyone next week. Have a great week, guys. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
See ya.
Bye.